Hello and welcome to the first episode of the spinny chair of the GK Union podcast, World Cup edition. And for the keen-eyed or eared of you, there have been no previous editions. This is the first iteration, but we're going to go full last leg on it. I reckon we're going to be doing this for years to come, every week. But you've got. Well, currently 3, but it might be as many as 4 bang average amateur goalkeepers talking about the World Cup.
Whoa,
which
bang average?
No, actually,
you're overstating us there.
And understating myself. I've got 2 bang average goalkeepers and me. We're just amateur keepers, and we're just going to give our unprofessional view on what's going on in the World Cup. So we're going to dig into it straight in. We're a week late recording because
guilty.
That's how we do things on my podcast. Nothing runs to time. But the advantage of being a week late is we've got a whole week's worth of football to talk about in the next 30-ish minutes. So we'll dig into it. Before it started, what was your prediction? Actually, no, we need to address the elephant in the room. We've both gone retro shirts. Proper, legit retro shirts. And you've robbed yours from a...
Small local Thailand.
Somewhere in Southeast Asia, nice little retro kit for Ronaldo, and I look different. And you know what?
I think the only way we can allow you to wear that shirt ever again on the podcast is if you also go with the Ronaldo haircut.
Oh, you know what? No chance.
If Brazil win, we'll do it.
You heard it here first. He's not doing the Ronaldo haircut. So if he turns
I'm doing a little Paul Gascoigne, with the go that blonde.
No. It's Ronaldo haircut or nothing. If you turn up in that shirt again without the Ronaldo haircut, we're kicking it old school and you're recording it in your pants. Sorry. That's the way it goes. Anyway, back to the serious matter. What was everyone's predictions before we got started? And I don't want you to change it based on what you've seen so far. What was your pre-tournament prediction for winners and biggest surprise package?
Winners, I had Spain. Although I'd probably change that now, potentially. Biggest surprise, I don't actually know. To be fair, I actually didn't think about it. I think Morocco would do well. I think that's someone I think could actually go on and win it, potentially, especially how they played against Brazil.
They're a really good team. We were talking about this earlier before you arrived because you were late. You'll notice a trend on every episode. I would just throw everybody else under the bus because it's funny. We were speaking about this. Morocco seems to be the only African team that I feel are a cohesive team. All the other African sides have got flair players capable of doing something amazing, but I don't feel like they're great squads. Whereas Morocco seems the most balanced team. So I think that's a fair shout as an outsider. What about you? What was your pre-tournament?
I hate that guy that's coming home. Firstly, manifest there. I'm back in England, boys, and I think
I'm wearing a Brazil shirt.
Yeah, I should have actually clarified that.
Brazil.
Hey, it's really coming home, guys.
I'm surprised they spelled it right. No, that's the kind of shirt that would normally be. It's a Basel shirt.
Nah, this is the problem, mate. This is the real deal, mate. You just can't see it.
It's got too many stars.
Yeah, maybe so actually. But despite wearing a Brazil top, I'm back in England. Why not?
I guess that would probably be your surprise package as well, then, because I don't
throw
think
England in there. Surprise package.
Yeah.
I think USA, to be fair. Obviously one of the hosts, I think they've got a good shout as well. Impressed me in the first game.
It's a very good shout, actually.
And I'm really impressed with pretty much all the players.
He did say before your first games, though.
But at the same time, I think having a host nation as a potential surprise package is a logical thing. Even if you ignore their first game, it's a bit of a logical thing on the basis that they are going to be the best supported sides there, and sometimes that makes the difference if you think back to the Euros that we had over here.
Yeah, that's
true. How well we did. It was very much an advantage every game that we played at Wembley with our own fans, and you've got 100,000 seat stadium and 98,000 England fans.
Was having this debate though, it wasn't just in this country though, at Euros. But people seem to think it was based on how well England actually did and how many games we played at Wembley, and it wasn't the case. It was all over Europe, which now not doing anymore.
No, I know, but also we obviously played all of our games at home and.
That's why it felt like a home Euros, right? And we did so well because of it.
But I think that's a good shout. My pre-tournament favourites, I was a toss-up between the French and the Spanish to win it. But I feel like it's hard to look past them based on their squads, but also what each of their key players are doing domestically. Like pretty much both of their sides have won multiple trophies in the last year, so you kind of feel like they're kind of primed.
England, to be fair.
For the first time in a long time, you can say that we've got a crop of players that have perhaps now got that under their belt and on their CV that they can get over the line. So maybe that starts to help because, again, I think historically you look at our key players. We've not had many players in our squad who have actually experienced winning, particularly in tournament football. So that is a good shout. But France and Spain were my pre-tournaments. My surprise package going into it, I was kind of expecting Mexico to be a bit of a dark horse. So I as much as I've sort of tipped France and Spain, I do think that Central or Southern American teams I think will go deep into the competition.
They're going to benefit massively because of the conditions.
Yeah. That is going to play such a key role, and that I think it just suits them down to the ground. That being said, I thought Brazil were not overly great in their first game.
They were pretty poor.
I stayed up to watch that game, expecting it to be an absolute barnstormer, and all I can really remember from it, in between my little naps, was Mazraoui looked like a man possessed, and Brazil looked pretty shit.
Did you think Brazil were going to beat Morocco?
I thought they were going to win, but I thought it would be a really even game, to be honest with you. I thought like it would be. We were speaking about it. I thought it was set up really nicely in that it's two teams that would have been able to play the way that they like to play. So my expectation was that actually it was going to create quite an open game in that Brazil would have a good amount of the ball and they kind of dictate the tempo of play, and that Morocco would look to hit them really hard on the break. But all that actually happened is Morocco pressed them really high up the pitch and kind of suffocated them, and it kind of killed the momentum of the game a bit. I thought it was a bit shit. But keeping things GK Union, I don't want to speak too much about people scoring goals because they get too much recognition. It's not what they're here for. The people that are going to obviously flood to this podcast in their tens
of thousands,
just tens.
Pipe down.
In their tens of millions are here because they want to hear the views and opinions of goalkeepers, experienced top level elite goalkeepers, and obviously inspired by what Joe Hart is doing. Great pundit, hated him as a player domestically, but great pundit. We're going to carry that mantle, and we're going to dig into everything good about the World Cup from a goalkeeping perspective, and we have to start with our man, the 40-year-old, who's gone from 50k followers to something like 10 million followers.
I'm keeping track of it. Call me sad, but
it's mad. I mean, it's giving me hope on two levels. I'm still not too old to get a call up for England, and if I want to become Instagram famous, it can change. All you have to do is keep a clean sheet against Spain.
Yes.
So I think it's doable. But I mean, it was actually unreal. Obviously, a lot of his saves were what you would argue to be fairly routine. You'd be a bit disappointed if he didn't make them. But I think what I personally liked about the performance is the fact that going into that game, everyone expected, rightfully so, fuckloads of goals. And it wasn't a game where you could argue that he got a clean sheet through the efforts solely of his team and that they parked the bus, 10 men behind the ball, suffocated Spain, and they only had like 2 or 3 shots. Like Spain had chances. They had a lot of chances, and I actually thought as a keeper going into it, it shows the importance of like mindset, in my opinion, in that if he listens to what everyone's saying and he goes into it with the viewpoint of we're going to get fucking battered, that's 100% what happens. But I thought he just showed a level of...
It's the concentration levels.
Yeah, and it was the calmness. He never once looked under pressure. He never once looked out of his depth. And for a keeper that's, he's 40, he's playing for a nation that everyone is expecting to get completely fucking battered. He's, with no disrespect to him, he's not on a level of the strikers that he's facing. And
turns out he was, but
and he more than held his own in it. And that for me, I think, is such. That's probably like the early major story of the tournament. Is not just the fact that Cape Verde got a point against reigning European champions, but it's actually the fact that everything was pretty much stacked against the keeper, and he did an unbelievable job of making very good saves and the routine ones, and made it look unbelievably comfortable.
For me, like backing up, I think the saves he made, they weren't spectacular, but he made those saves look so easy because of the positioning and the build up to each Spain chance. He gave himself the best possible chance to save it by reading the game and being in that position, set, and then reacting and doing what you had to do, whatever it was. Keep it very simple.
I mean, I'm going to play devil's advocate
in
the situation. And as much as I want to give him full credit for the fact that it's a very good performance, like I say, everything you said about him concentrating, it was all very good, but Spain were really poor. It's not like the Spain that we're used to where it's free flowing, and I know that's how Cape Verde set up to do, and this is what I mean, like all the saves that he made were routine, but Spain weren't good. He never looked challenged. There was nothing that really threatened. It's not like, when France played and Mendy got absolutely peppered the entire time. It looked like they were always going to score. Spain didn't look like scoring full stop. I don't want to take credit away from him, but yeah, Spain were pretty poor. And even when Lamau came on, they looked better.
Do you want me to explain what the goalkeepers union? Shall I explain to you what the goalkeepers union is? Because at the moment you're doing an injustice. We're supposed to wax lyrical in the same way that like strikers go on match of the day and they're like, oh my god, it was the best performance from a footballer I've ever seen. He did so well. He bagged an assist to the assist. And you go, cool. He played a pass. Well done, brilliant, world class.
I don't want to take credit away from him, but I'm going to play the devil's advocate card in that. So you've got to have the other viewpoint of it. It was a very good display, but also it was not a very good display from the opposition. If Spain were at full throttle, I think he'd have a bit more of a challenging day.
I personally just look at like the opposition Spain were against, and obviously the lack of experience they've got against European champions.
I also think there's an element I would compare him a little bit to what it's like watching Senna Lomans at United in comparison to watching Onana at United, in that I don't think United are offering up a great deal less opportunities and chances to the opposition. Lomans just makes everything look very easy. He doesn't. I can't like name that many saves that you go, that was absolutely world class. But I think it's because he does the fundamentals so well that he makes it look like it's ridiculously easy. Whereas other keepers might not be in the best position. And they might make a save that you think, fucking hell, that was unreal. Yeah. But actually, when you analyse it, you go, his starting position probably put him in a position where he had to make a world class save. Whereas I do genuinely think that the Cape Verde keeper made his game much easier by playing incredibly solid and just like actually nailing the fundamentals of good goalkeeping. With the exception of the one save that he made, which was absolute quality, where he tipped it over the bar, where he'd thrown himself at feet, and obviously the defender and him and everybody all got a bit messed up, and you kind of go, that was probably the only moment of like real erratic behaviour that you saw from him all game, but he did actually respond really well in terms of just got up straight away and then made a ridiculous save to tip it over the bar. But that's my only sort of counter to your point in terms of, yes, I do agree that perhaps he wasn't completely peppered, and he didn't make sort of saves that you would go, oh, that was absolutely world class. But I think a large portion of that is probably because of how well he actually played and where he positioned himself and made his life much easier. But if you're not blown away by him, who's been your standout keeper performance so far?
Standout, it's got to be the Australian keeper. I forget his name.
For anyone watching this hoping that we're going to be like elite tier punditry and we got everybody's names, date of birth, where they were born and all of their family history, we will be referring to them by the country that they play for, if we can even remember that.
So Patrick Beach. There we go. I did prep some stuff on this.
Someone had to.
Yeah, someone had to.
The game's part of my bedtime. I'll watch a few here and there if I can, but
I'm asleep. I'm up at 5. There's no way I can watch all these games. Some of them kick off when I wake up, which is mental.
It's
got to dive 3 points, Neil Warnock.
Well, talk us through it, mate. Patrick Beach, what's your reasoning why you putting him ahead of our 11 million follower man from Cape Verde?
I think it's the same reasons, really. I think he just made it. He got peppered more, had a bit more difficult shots to face, and Australia were just tipped to just not have any chance either. So it's more or less the same reason. And again, similar sort of level goalkeeper as well. No one's really heard of him either.
On debut as well.
Yeah, debut.
Which that in itself is impressive because their other keeper option, I want to say it's Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. Yeah,
I
think.
I always get confused whether Matt Ryan's Australia or America.
No, Matt Ryan's Australia.
But there's the American backup keeper has also done the rounds, hasn't he, in the Prem and stuff. And I can't remember his fucking name, but nobody cares. It's America.
America.
But again, I think to get the nod ahead of a keeper who's that experienced and has been around for that long, has played Premier League football, has got some decent clubs on his CV. I think to get the nod on the world's biggest stage, first game of the tournament, and then to play the way that he did was a pretty exceptional performance. His debuts go, it's right up there.
Yeah, clean sheet as well. Yeah, thoroughly deserved. It's all for the same reasons as well. Like I say, he might not have done anything stand out amazing, but he made a few really good saves, which, against the Turkey side, which is did underperform as well, and
they did last time as well.
They're a really weird team, though, aren't they? Because every tournament they go in, people kind of tip them as like the dark horse, the outsider, like they're going to cause an upset, and yet, with the exception of like 2002. They're pretty shit.
They're not great.
Time.
They're never
and I don't quite get why they always get tipped as this. They'll be a tough side, because I just haven't seen it, and I don't know if it's because whenever English teams go to Turkey and like European football, their teams are always like really fiercely supported, and they're really aggressive and front foot, and like they're horrible environments to play in. Whether people are just expecting that that's going to be what their national team is like, but I've always been like really underwhelmed by Turkey. But that being said, it was probably more of a performance in line with what people normally expect from them. They just came up against a keeper that was like just having none of it. It's like you can fuck right
on GK steroids for the day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the power of the World Cup, and it brings the best out of people. Some people rise to the occasion, some people wilt and fade away. Rob Green, God rest his soul. He's not dead. His career is.
Or like a more recent goalkeeper in Mainan.
Yeah.
That was the complete opposite of someone who should probably perform, and I thought he was poor. Harry will very much disagree with me on it, and so it's a shame he's not here to debate it, but I don't know how you boys feel about it, but I thought especially for the goal he conceded, I think he should do so much better on that. And again, I know we're meant to be GK Union, but
I think the issue that you've got is, I would always argue in that side, I think he's the weak link. I don't think they've got a genuine world-class keeper.
Did you not say he's world-class?
No, I don't think he's world-class. I think he's an elite-level goalie. I don't think he's world-class. I think if you're writing a list of the top 10 keepers from across the world, I don't think he makes that top 10 list.
I kind of would put him and Pickford in a similar bracket. They're not quite that elite.
Very insulting. I disagree with you.
Don't get me wrong, it's not a keeper I love more than Jordan Pickford. But I don't see him as that elite. I don't compare him to Donnarumma, Alisson, Manuel Neuer.
I think Pickford's an interesting one though when you make that point, because domestically I 100% agree with that. If you're looking at domestic football, he probably just scrapes in the top 10 goalkeepers in the Premier League, and that's not me being a dick for the sake of being a dick because he plays for Everton or whatever, and just kind of like lumping him in a lower group because Everton aren't an amazing side. But I genuinely think, domestically, I would put him in the category of like your Tom Heatons and sort of goalkeepers like that. Ben Foster's, your Tom Heatons that have been around the block, have played for a lot of Premier League teams or played for one team for a long period of time. Really solid, very dependable, make some great saves, but ultimately wouldn't walk into any of like the top 5 teams.
No,
but you put him in an England shirt, and I genuinely think, a bit like Emi Martinez, to be honest with you, put him in an Argentina shirt, or you put him in like knockout football, he seems to be this unbelievable presence that just does incredible things. And then domestically, you watch him and you go, "Oh, he's good. He's clearly good." But I just don't think. I almost think that they're like different categories, and again, different types of football will bring different levels of performance out of some people. A 38-game domestic season, or if you're in Europe and stuff, a 50-60 game season, it is much harder to maintain the same levels as if you're playing 5 or 6 games in a tournament in the space of a few weeks. Like, you can have a good run of form for 5 or 6 games, and it's magnified and looks much better when they're in a space of 6 weeks. Whereas, again, in the league, you could have a run of 5 good games, but if you then have the next 10 games are a bit shit, that the famous phrase, you're only as good as your last performance. So it's very easy for people to go, yeah, well, he's wank. So
they got no clue what they're talking about. Majority of people anyway.
But well, this is true, and which brings me on to a really important point. I think that we need to cover early doors on this podcast is that punditry does my fucking head in, both commentary and punditry, with the exception of what Joe Hart is doing, which is it's very good. Very good, refreshing, professional punditry and analysis from a goalkeeping perspective. But I lost count of the number of times this tournament where I've heard phrases along the lines of the keeper should do better for conceding goals, where you look at it and you're like, why?
Yeah.
And it's always people who've never played in goal. Strikers like keepers should do better.
Absolutely. To it, should have saved it.
Yeah, it's madness. It does my head in. Punditry is the same. Like, there's so much scrutiny put on keepers by people who've never played the position.
Underqualified people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few people that keeps for me. Mendy springs to mind. Against France, you got Zidane. Messi scored.
Yeah.
Long range shot. Was that Algeria?
It was Algeria.
It was,
yeah, Algeria. And of course, you had Pickford yesterday.
Yeah.
Did his very best to get his hand to the strike, but unfortunately, the power just took it in.
But have you seen what Joe Hart said about the ball? Saying
Yes.
it could have a massive impact, and I think he's speaking very well for the goalkeepers, and just seems to come off a lot quicker. So not like the Jubilani, which is swiveled like a little bitch, but it's got having more power when it comes off the foot, so it's coming a lot faster.
And I think it's good that punditry is giving that level of analysis, because it's so easy to pile in on goalkeepers and be like, oh, I should have fucking saved it, he's shit, what a fucking joke. But actually, when you've got somebody who's played in the position, who understands it really well, that can articulate why it's not as straightforward as just throwing yourself around and getting in the way, really fucking helps, both in terms of for the perception of goalkeepers in general, but also for actually the people watching at home, because everyone's an armchair expert. It doesn't matter what the sport is. It doesn't matter what the sport is. If you're passionate about it, you have an opinion, and your opinion is what's right. And I think having people like Joe Hart who can break stuff down to those who probably don't understand actually the complexities of being a goalkeeper, who aren't going to be able to look at Pickford trying to get a hand to it and it's coming off his thumb, and people going, why has he tried to save it with his thumb? And it's like, well, he clearly hasn't tried to save it with his thumb. It's the simple fact that with all of these shots that have made the keeper look a little bit questionable, the common trend is the ball appears to be getting to them quicker than they realise, because their start position looks really good. Their movement towards where the ball is going seems to be really good. But by the time the ball has got to them, they're not in the position to make the save as they normally would, which would suggest that it's not an ability thing, and it's not a mistake. It's actually a difficulty of reading the flight of the ball. So I think it's really good that we've got that, because if you think back to the Jubilani, and obviously yes, it was great. We saw loads of absolute worldies, people
pure excitement,
shooting from fucking anywhere and it
Best
going in.
Like that.
But because there wasn't any good level of goalkeeping punditry at the time, it was very much like it was either the goals were grouped as exceptional finish or shit goalkeeping, and there was no ability to kind of say, well, actually, I think the reason behind it is there's actually some science to it. A bit like in the Prem when Nike released the Total 90 ball, and that used to fucking move everywhere, and you've got multiple exceptional goalkeepers making very stupid mistakes. Sorry to bring them up again, but Rob Green is one that springs to mind. And you kind of look at it and you go, it's so easy to go, oh, I should have saved that. But until you stood between the sticks and had a ball flying at you and it's doing this, or a ball that comes at you so fucking quick that you can't even get your hands up in time, like, you don't appreciate that it's not as simple as just somebody has a shot and you throw yourself in the direction of the ball. So yeah, I think the punditry side of things is it's refreshing, but I still do really get annoyed with the he should have saved it.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Oh, never change. Never change. Makes a good drinking game, though.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. It's on the bingo card. I mean, we haven't seen too many awful goals at the near post, but I feel like the near post finish is the one that annoys me the most with pundits going, you should have said, you shouldn't be beating it.
Yeah, it's an urban myth, isn't it? If it's at the near post, they should save it every time. So it's not really how it is on how you should be positioned. You should be able to get there, but also cover the other side of the goal. You're not just like standing on the near post and, there you go. It's,
that's one that does really annoy me. With the England game, obviously it's coming home. We can all.
I
we
said
can
that
all
at the
agree
start
on
of
that.
the podcast, mate. First thing I said.
We
Harry Kane can have my children. I've said it. I want him to be my daddy.
I mean,
Thanks for that admission of.
I just feel like I needed to get it out.
Throw it out there, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. No judging here, mate.
Absolutely, you do you. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
It's very brave.
I feel passionately on this.
It's June is also Pride Month, so I think
Is it?
Embrace
Yeah.
it. Yeah, embrace it, mate.
Well,
The community will welcome you.
I'll never hide it. I love Harry Kane. You heard it here first.
Back to the England game. We'll touch upon the penalty situation from all aspects in a moment, but I just want to pay reference to Croatia's keeper, who for 15 minutes at the start of the second half was a man possessed and stopped it from being, without exaggeration, 6-2. Very, very early in the half.
Yeah.
Quite abusive. Quite abusive of him to go for all that. You could see in one of the saves that he made, he just was.
Is that the O'Reilly header he made? Like,
He
floored it and then he's got back up and
he made like a triple save, didn't he? But then also his face when I think it was Rashford's finish to make it 4-2, and it like panned round to him when he's on the floor, and it's just that look of just absolute. Just absolute defeat. He's like literally got that look on his face that we've all experienced as a keeper, where you go, I don't know what more I could have done today. He must have been probably quite happy with his performance, but livid with his defence on the basis that for like 20 minutes of that second half it was cannon fodder, and it wasn't even like you could argue with the Cape Verde game where you could say, well, the shots that he had were savable shots. I think half of the saves that their keeper made were genuine world-class saves as well. Like they weren't average saves. They weren't like straight at him. He was playing out of his fucking skin. And you could almost argue they deserve to get something out of the game purely for that. And from a goalkeepers union perspective, I would say when a keeper plays that well, they deserve to get something out of the game. But he plays for the opposition, so fuck him.
Yeah, not throwing against England. That goes out the door, mate.
Absolutely. It's that supporters bias, isn't it? We can hold ethics and morals as dear as we like, but if our ethics and morals don't quite align with the team that we love and support, they can go out the window.
And it's Croatia, so I'm forgiving them for the 2018 semi-final.
We're still sorry.
No, still sorry about it.
Yeah, and it was nice just to get a decent win over them, because Croatia have been one of those teams, certainly from like when I grew up through to obviously 2018, they were always one of those teams that weren't necessarily the best team, but they were always the team you didn't want in tournament football. Like they always go deep into competitions, they're always so hard to beat, and 2018 was the perfect fucking example of it, where it looked like we were gonna do a job, and it was like, this is fucking unreal, and then out of nowhere they just turn it on and they have like a 5-minute spell and just kill everything and ruin everybody's lives. And,
it's our turn now. So
it was, for me, I thought actually that the value of that victory is so much more significant, because actually that's the kind of team that historically a lot of teams have struggled against, but certainly England have always struggled against that kind of team. So to go and get a big win, particularly after the first half, where it was a little bit cagey, it was a little bit sort of open and end to end, and there were little mistakes in there that led to goals. I thought second half it showed a real level of maturity and intent, which I don't think we've really seen from an England perspective. The only negative for me was your man Harry Kane and his penalty, which he got a reprieve on. But I think it's an important talking point, because I've seen loads of people kicking off about it on social media, and I think there's a few points that we should definitely raise. Firstly, in terms of why it was retaken, both the keeper was off his line. So if you don't know about that, anyone listening, it's like, what's the fucking big deal? You've got to keep 1 foot has to still be touching the line when the
load of rubbish, by the way, that rule is.
I fucking hate that rule on the basis that there's 2 things I hate as a goalkeeper when facing a penalty, and that's the fact that strikers can go through their full routine.
They can
whatever their routine is, their preparation, they can kiss the ball, they can take 20 minutes to take it, they can do whatever the fuck they want, slow their breathing and everything, and they know where they're going to kick the ball. Like, they've got that advantage already. But as a goalkeeper, you're not really often allowed to actually go through
everything's against you. It's meant for the striker to score.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I think that's batshit fucking crazy, and I don't really like the rule of having to keep your foot on the line, but I think it's the positive from it is when you watch like penalty shootouts from like 20, 30 years ago, and keepers are taking like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's the whole reason they've done it. They're literally halfway. They're on the 6-yard box.
Whereas the Liverpool AC Milan Champions League final, obviously Dudek's saves were insane in that penalty shootout. But when you look at where he was positioned at the point where A, the ball was kicked, and B, when he made the save, he may as well have just been at the penalty spot. So I get that you need a level of like rules around it, but it always feels like it punishes the keeper. So for anyone that was like, oh, why did they have to retake it? That, and also the fact that Gvardiol decided to just sort of just go for a little wander towards the penalty spot before it was taken, and then head it out. So obviously he's not.
That's where Harry Kane's stutter actually helped him. I know ultimately it ruined his penalty, but if he didn't take that stutter, Gvardiol would have been absolutely fine. But Gvardiol got distracted by the stutter, so it actually worked in his favour.
It helped, but again, the point I wanted to raise is if you look at like the Champions League final, for example, the shittest penalties in the Champions League final all came from players who tried to stutter. And if you look at penalties,
Saka when we played Italy,
and if you look at players that have got a fantastic record of penalties, very few of them. There's the odd exception, but very few of them stutter. And Harry Kane is one of those players that I've never seen him do it to the best, or certainly not regularly. He does his big in-breath, his little run on the spot, and then he just fucking twats it, which is ironically what he did, and he scored when he retook it. And it just makes you think, like, why would you change? I know as a goalkeeper, I never try and change my approach to penalties. I try and go through the same routine, hand the ball to the striker, eye contact, try and just put him off, try and get in his head as much as I can, and I make my decision which way I'm going, and that's it, I'm going there. I don't second guess it. And I find it weird when you watch strikers who are normally just automatic and they go and change it, and I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, just stick to what works, don't change it.
I called him a cunt actually, but
fair enough.
I have a video of me titling it cunt as well.
There you go. I think we're all agreed on that perspective.
But I still love you, Harry Kane.
But I still backed him. Fortunately.
I mean, but as soon as he got to retake it, I was like, he's not missing it twice.
Stick to what you know. He scored how many pens for Bayern this season, or since the last one he missed actually was against France, and he blazed over the crossbar, which we won't get to that. But
we have so many traumatic memories as England fans, don't we?
It's got different mess coming in.
I said before the tournament that for us to win it or to get to like the semis or the final, it might take for some of the other top nations to have a shit tournament. But based on what
from other nations,
based on what I've seen from the first round of fixtures, I can't bring myself to say that Germany look like a favourite on the basis that they were playing
nation no one's ever heard of.
Playing Curacao. They've got a total population of 158,000. So like that game was going to go one of two ways. It was going to be either Spain v Cape Verde, where it's like it's attack versus defence and you just hope that they hold on, or it was going to go exactly as it did and Germany were going to fucking batter them. Don't get me wrong, when it went 1-1, I was absolutely dead certain for all of about 2 minutes that they were going to get a result. But I think when you, in a game like that, I don't think you can take much from it, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you end up like Spain, everyone goes, well, you're fucking shit, what are you doing? And if you go and win it comfortably, everybody goes, it's Curacao. Don't get too heavy.
I mean, Neuer wasn't particularly great for that goal either.
No.
And also just want to make a point of him wearing a white underlayer shirt with a green shirt is disgusting and should stop. He deserved to concede as well, but his goalkeeping for that wasn't great.
I think you raise a really good point, and I might ruffle a few feathers with goalkeepers, but I think it should be illegal from a base layer perspective to wear compression tights, like long leggings.
Oh, I do that all the time now, I'm guilty.
No.
That's a problem. Unless you're training, but even
then,
that's up for debate as well.
I don't mind it if you're training on 4G, for example, or it's the middle of winter. Yeah, fine, that I get. But like this World Cup, when they're playing in 35-degree heat, and I can't remember which team it was, but it might have been Curacao actually.
Was it Qatar?
Oh, it was
the
Qatari keeper who he had a reasonably all right game, to be fair to him, but. He's from Qatar, which is a hot country already. They're playing in ridiculously hot conditions, and he's wearing fucking tights and a long sleeve fucking base layer underneath his shirt. And I'm like, mate, it's not cold. What are you doing?
But that's just his choice.
I don't like it.
It's comfort.
I want it to stop as well.
I think ban it. Ban leggings.
That's never going to happen. Hopefully not. Anyway,
I get
I'll be stuffed.
Thermal's okay, but leggings are unacceptable.
I'm unacceptable apparently. So.
I would also roll this out to every single sport. I get really annoyed if I'm watching basketball and they're wearing compression tights under their shorts. I'm like, you're playing a sport where you wear shorts. What are you doing putting trousers on underneath?
I get annoyed when people wear woolly gloves and no thermal in the winter when they're playing in the Prem. That's outrageous and utter woke nonsense.
That I agree with.
Oh, so you agree with that, but you won't agree that it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, but listen, it's different for a keeper. It's just a comfort thing. That's what it is.
Yeah, but at amateur level, I can almost understand it a little bit because like park pitches are covered in glass and stones and sticks and dog shit and it's vile. So you probably look at it and go, do you know what? Yeah, pair of tights, fine. You can just about argue it, but they're playing on carpets. Like these are the most perfect pitches you'll ever play on. Heavily watered, so you don't have to worry about grass burn. You just slide for the rest of like your life if you want to.
True in mine.
And they're wearing fucking tights. Like what? Your knees aren't that precious, surely.
Well, apparently it is.
It's pathetic.
It's
pathetic, and I think that's why Alisson. I think that's why he's been fairly shit for Liverpool after the last couple of years. He's not been at his best, and I think it's because he started wearing compression tights most of the time.
Possibly it could be a bit too restricted.
I think it's also because he's just the world's hairiest man now.
Yeah.
He looks horrendous.
He's weighed down by Barnett.
Yeah, happened to Bale as well. He just dropped off when he grew out his hair.
Yeah.
He needs to stop.
David Seaman, he was the same when he grew that ponytail, got lobbed by Ronaldinho.
Yeah. Utter white nonsense. Get out.
I'm sure. Lads.
Yeah, well,
true.
How many times has Ronaldinho lobbed you from halfway?
I don't remember, mate.
He even gave you a shirt as well.
Yeah.
No, that's Ronaldo.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm wearing it. I don't even know either. I give it a spin for the camera.
Yeah, it is an R9 shirt, but
it's Ronaldo one.
It's not an officially licensed shirt.
Is it not?
They didn't
No, I think yours is.
Mine is.
Yeah, mine's got the little tag here. It says.
Yeah, I think mine came from the watch. It's quite an old one, to be fair. So.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I think we've touched on quite a lot in this inaugural episode. So I think it's a good place to round it up. We will obviously be back in the next episode where we will talk about the second round of fixtures, and hopefully we can wax lyrical about more exceptional goalkeeping performances, or dig into some absolute howlers. But hopefully, if nothing else, we get some more great matches to enjoy, because it has been a really good World Cup so far, and for all of the naysayers, I think you might have been one, of expanding the tournament, having these little insignificant teams that are just going to be the whipping boys come in. I think actually a lot of them have more than held their own and provided some really entertaining matches. So I'm looking forward to round 2. 100%. Any predictions for who to watch out for in the second round of fixtures, besides obviously the fact England look unreal?
I'll go first. I think Sweden, after their performance, absolute goal fest.
Yeah,
they turned it on. Graham Potter did a really good job there. So I think that would be quite exciting to watch.
Yeah, they're definitely much better than I thought they would be. Besides that, Tunisia were terrible.
And also, got to take into consideration they didn't win any qualifying games. They got there because of their what's it called, Nations League.
Yeah.
I think USA go undefeated in the group.
I see it.
I think they win every game.
It's entirely possible. We spoke about this earlier, actually, that for the first time ever, because of the expanded tournament, there's not a group of death.
No.
When you look through, there's a couple of groups where you could argue that there's like 3 fairly good teams and 1 absolute shit team, but there's no traditional group of death this year, which again I think adds a bit more to it, on the basis that all of the top sides you would expect to be getting out of their groups. I predict the big upset being I don't think Spain. I think they're going to draw their next game. I think they are going to be
Who they got in the next game?
That's a good question. Not sure, but I'm just not blown away. I'm just not blown away.
But then I'd reference the 2010 World Cup when they lost their first game to Switzerland. And I only know that because I had Switzerland in the sweepstake in 2010, and I thought Switzerland would then go on and win it.
Still sour. Still hits.
No, took it quite well at that age, apparently.
He only cried for a week and a half.
Yeah.
Only?
Yeah.
Pretty
good. I mean, I didn't win anything from it. But, or one off if I did win. But yeah, Spain then went on to go undefeated for the rest of the tournament. So
yeah, and we have seen it with teams before where they get off to a slow start and you kind of want to build into a tournament. You don't want to peak too soon. But
last World Cup winners, Argentina obviously.
Yeah,
they lost their first game as well.
Saudi. They did indeed. But I just have a funny feeling. I think Spain are going to. I think they're going to struggle to live up to the hype. I think there's a lot of pressure being European champions. Everybody's hyping them up because of players like Lamine Yamal, and they've got a great team. But I feel like this could be their time to do a bit of a Germany and
pass on to England. Let's say
struggle and stuff. So that's
Come on
my
now.
That's my
It's
prediction.
so easy to get out of these groups though. All you got to do is win one game.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they won't get out of the group. I just don't think they're in the second round of fixtures. I don't think they're going to win. I think they're at best they're going to pick up a point and they'll be putting themselves in a tricky position.
So I'd like to see. I'm not against that one.
But
See.
but yeah, I think that's mine. Did you give your prediction?
Yeah, USA to win every game in the group.
Sweet. Well, thank you for joining. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that good shit that happens. And we will be back after the second round of fixtures to talk more about goalkeepers and just generally abuse each other. And we might even have Harry here if
he wants to turn up.
If he wants to turn up. So yeah,
Great.
who knows? See you in a bit.